Namah Shivaya class. So yesterday I ended the lecture with this slide, and I remember there was a part mentioned in the notes um, w- with the name cingulate gyrus, and I have added another slide where you can just go through all the parts together: frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, and this green part is temporal lobe. Inside of that, remember I was taking that spherical moon-shaped ball and I was trying to explain cingulate gyrus. So when you cut the brain into half and you see the inside intersection, which is in this picture, the boundary under the curly part of the brain, the next layer, it's like an onion, there is layers. So one thick layer, which are all the lobes. The beneath there, it's another layer which is named as corpus callosum. Sorry, cingulate gyrus, and inside of that is corpus callosum. So this is just for better understanding of parts of brain, so that when you go through your manual again, you go through these fancy words, you are able to visualize where this part is located in the brain. This entire thing is called cerebral cortex. Inside that is cingulate gyrus, and there is another layer which is named as corpus callosum. Okay. Apart from that, hair down beneath its cerebellum that helps in movement, gym, asana class. Then this is pons, this is medulla oblongata, and this entire part together, this brown part, it's called brain stem. Okay, brain stem all or midbrain also. So this is hindbrain or lower brain. This is midbrain, and this is front brain. This entire big structure. Okay, so I just wanted to add this picture and give you a better idea. So moving on, today we will study. Open your manual to page number 105, lymphatic system. So before talking about lymphatic system, let me just go through circulatory system. This was another chapter in anatomy class of TTC 200. What happens in circulatory system is, this is heart. Heart pumps blood. The blood goes through this red pipe known as artery. Now, the blood that is going through this red pipe is full of nutrition, oxygen, full of nutrients and oxygen, full of all good things. It goes through this big artery, and later it gets divided into small red pipes, thin red pipes, which are lymphatic. Oh, sorry. Wait, wait. Yes. So heart is pumping blood to this thick pipe called artery, and then it gets divided into small pipes, and these are called blood capillaries. Okay. Now, these blood capillaries are in the background. You see these spots, circular spots in the background. This is referred as tissue cells. What does tissue mean? Any organ like lungs or intestine, liver, or even the muscles. So all the organs and muscles need nutrition, protein, oxygen to function. So heart pumps the blood, goes through this thick pipe, which further divides into small pipe, which is called blood capillaries. It is attached to tissues in the body. Tissue means muscles or organs. Now the muscles and organs will consume all the blood from the blood capillaries, these thin tubes. Now, after consuming all the blood, so they don't exactly consume the blood, they consume the good part, which is oxygen, nutrition, plasma. All these good parts is consumed by the tissue cells, and the remaining part, which is the waste part, is given out and it is absorbed by the blue blood capillaries. And then it is taken from this thick pipe called vein back to the heart. So heart pumps pure blood from this artery. This artery is further divided into thin pipes called blood capillaries. Blood capillaries are connected to tissue cells, which we can see in the background. Tissue cells, as in muscles and organs, and they absorb all the nutrition and oxygen in the blood to function themselves. Now, the remaining waste product, waste part in the blood or the impure blood is forwarded to these thin blue pipes, which are again called blood capillaries, and they are transferred to this big pipe and back to the heart. So, this is how circulatory system functions in a closed cycle. Pure blood comes from arteries, reaches the tissues, the good part is consumed, the oxygen, nutrients, protein is consumed, and then the remaining waste part is taken back to the heart through veins. Now, when this transfer of blood is happening, when the transfer of blood to tissues and from tissues to this blood capillary, the blue one, is happening, not entire waste blood is absorbed by capillaries. Almost 85-80%, and the remaining 15-17% remains inside the body. Here comes lymphatic system. Now we have this lymph. Can you just see the picture first? There is this pipe called lymphatic trunk, this ball-like structure called lymph node, and then these thin pipe-like structures again called lymphatic capillaries. All right. So this tissue fluid, there is this something labeled as tissue fluid, and these are tissue cells. So when the arteries are giving the good blood, the tissue cells are absorbing it, and the veins is absorbing the remaining leftover waste impure blood. There is some part of the blood that stays in the tissue, which is called tissue fluid. Now, this lymphatic system, this green pipe would come into action and it would absorb the remaining waste tissue fluid that was left by this blue part. This is the role of this green part to clean or consume or take the leftover waste tissue fluid back to its original place. Okay, so in a way, this lymphatic system is a subsystem of circulatory system. It is helping circulatory system in the background. Whatever major cleaning is not done by the veins, the lymphatic trunk and this lymphatic system is coming into action and removing the extra waste. So in a way, it is helping in deep cleaning, you can say. So this is the gist for today's lecture. Now I would just like to show you this picture. This is the lymphatic system. Sorry. This is the lymphatic system. Wrong picture. So first we go through the parts. There is thymus. Then there is a part named spleen. Spleen is on the left side of the body. Thymus is in the center of the body. Okay. Then there is something called lymph nodes. These little tiny balls that you can see everywhere. Mostly you will find them around the neck, around the armpit, around the abdomen, and in the groin area. These are the four locations where you will find these tiny balls in more frequency: neck, armpit, abdomen, and groin area. Okay, so these are just remaining on depending on the location, the lymph nodes are labeled lumbar lymph node, pelvic lymph node. You don't need to remember these detailed names. Just understand that these ball-like structures are called lymph nodes. They are dominantly located in the four areas: neck, armpit, abdomen, and groin. They are located everywhere, but mostly major chunk is here. Then there is a part called thymus, there is a part called spleen, and here there is a part called lymphatic trunk, and the thin pipes, just like this is artery, it divides into thin pipes. Similarly, lymphatic trunk dividing into thin pipe called lymphatic capillary. So there is one set of blood capillary, one set of lymphatic capillary. Whatever blood capillary leaves behind, lymphatic capillary comes forward and takes it and cleans it. Okay. And what is that is being cleaned? This tissue fluid. So when the lymphatic capillaries absorb this tissue fluid from the blood, from the body inside, it is named as lymph. Now, if you open your manual, page number 106, lymphatic system, I am reading the anatomy of the lymphatic system. First point is lymph. Clear fluid that flows through lymphatic system. It's the kind of like blood, but it doesn't carry red blood cells. Instead, it carries white blood cells which fight infections. So major chunk of blood comes from here, taken from here, but the remaining part, so red blood cells flow in this. The remaining part is white blood cells, which also help us protect from infections, bacteria, pathogens, or any foreign elements that can cause diseases or illnesses in the body. So we can say that lymphatic system is a subsystem of circulatory system as well as immune system. So it is another third system that is supporting both the systems, circulatory system and immune system. Circulatory in a way where it is taking, cleaning the leftover blood, and immune system, it is taking the cells, those specific cells of the blood that help us in fighting pathogens, bacteria, or any form of infections. So today's topic can be um, not, it's not very long, so I'll try to wind up early. Again, this is another image of lymphatic system. Adenoids are another form of lymphoid, another part of lymphatic system. Adenoids and tonsils. So as I said, lymph nodes are in dominance located in the neck area. So major two lymph nodes are labeled in this diagram: adenoids and tonsils. So sometimes when you see that tonsils are inflamed and you have throat ache, in like difficulty in swallowing food or drinking water, that is that ball-like structure in this image. Where is that image? Yes. Ball-like structure in this image somewhere here, that is fighting with some bacteria or some pathogen, which is why it is like swollen and it aches. So when we are having a throat ache or throat infection, it is the lymphatic system that is actively playing the role to fight the bacteria, fight that infection, and so that we can heal easily. So one part is tonsils, you can remember. Another you need to remember is thymus. Another part is spleen. One part is bone marrow, intestines, and these teeny tiny tiny pipes called lymphatic vessels. Okay, so lymphatic vessels and lymphatic capillaries. Basically, both the things are the pipe-like structures within which the lymph fluid, which is the remaining tissue fluid, flows. And these ball-like structures are called lymph nodes. So these are bean-shaped structures, something you can learn. Bean-shaped structures that has the capacity to filter. So if the remaining blood fluid is left in the tissue cell, the lymphatic capillaries will absorb it. It will take to lymphatic vessels, the thicker pipes. Then it will just flow, 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 and it will like get through a gateway, just like you are entering into a new city and you give a toll tax. Similarly, you can understand that they will have to wait and after reaching the lymph node, and inside the lymph node filtration happens. So lymph node has the capacity to filter out and identify if it is a similar kind of cell, it will let it go. But if it is an foreign kind of cell, it could be a pathogen or a bacteria cell, it will kill it there, because the content of the blood is also having white blood cells which help in fighting the infection. So I this is the gist of lymphatic system. This is circulatory system. I am showing you because it's 2D and it's very complex to be, as we why these three pictures are together. I put it together because yesterday in past 2 3 lectures we have studied this part, nervous system. This is circulatory system. We just revised it. This heart pumping the clean blood full of nutrients and oxygen, the red part taken to all the muscles and the tissues, organs, absorbed by it, and then taking it back to the heart again through veins, through the blue pipe. So this, and then this. All these three are working together, which we can't very nicely understand right now because it's not 3D. But we need to imagine that all these systems are interlaid with each other inside the body, and this lymphatic system runs in the background. Okay, now let me just go through the slides. So we can understand lymphatic system as body's inner safety network. Why? Because it acts like a cleanup department. It constantly scans for danger like infections, toxins, and injury. Where does the scanning happens? Inside lymph nodes. Here, inside these ball-like structures, bean-shaped structures. It responds when there is a threat, helps restore calm and balance once safety is regained. You'll understand later. Key points, it is called as the drainage system. Why? Because the veins, the blue pipe, is taking up all the blood. But whatever dirty blood is remaining, the lymphatic vessels take it away with them, just like the dirty water is being taken away through the drainage pipe to the gutter. Similarly, lymphatic vessels work. Subsystem of circulatory and immune system, open-ended network of vessels. So as you can see, this is close-ended network of vessels. This is again very limited. The red part goes here and it interconnects here somewhere and goes back to the blood. So closed, closed, but when it comes to lymphatic, it's not taking it to a specific point. Like circulatory system is taking the blood to the heart. In this lymphatic system, the excess blood is released by urine, by sweating, by mucus, by kunjal, whatever we clean. All the external cleansing that is happening through phlegm from the nose, through mucus through the mouth with kunjal or neti, or we pee or we sweat. This is how the drainage extra drain tissue is exiting the body, which is why it is open-ended system. Okay. So to remember the parts, this is just an acronym that I found. It's a fluid that carries waste and white blood cells. Um, it also, what are white blood cells? They are immune cells that help in fighting infection. There is another part in lymphatic system where a lot of nodes are collected here, which is labeled as tonsils. That is the first defense against mouth and nose. So anything, if we are breathing infectious air, or if we are drinking some dirty water, or anything unhygienic we consume eating out, it goes through from mouth and nose, and the lymph nodes in this area will filter it. Then there is thymus, trains white blood cells, lymph nodes, the ball-like bean-shaped structures, filters germs and waste. Edema prevention removes excess fluid from body tissues. So you must have observed or heard there is a condition where there is a lot of water collected in feet or in certain parts of the body. So that condition is called edema, and it would happen if the lymphatic system is not taking the fluid in a smoother manner. It gets stagnated and stuck in a certain area. That area gets infected and swollen, and that condition is known as edema. So in a way, it prevents edema. Then there is another part called bone marrow. It again makes white blood cells. We saw bone marrow here. This part, this long part, it creates white blood cells, and white blood cells further fight infections. Okay. Organ filter, again, it's cleaning the blood and removing the old cells. Spleen is another part on the left side of the body. It produces and stores. So, spleen is producing this white blood cells, and bone marrow is producing white blood cells, which is again flown in the inside of lymphatic capillaries. And then it is a system of thin tubes, thin pipes called vessels, and they carry the fluid throughout the body. Now, when the body senses threat, when we are in sympathetic nervous system, lymphatic system is also in survival mode. So what happens when lymphatic system is not working properly, when we are stressed or triggered or injured? You can understand this by thinking that when we are mentally stressed, our physical body is not able to recover very nicely. So if you have had gone through any injury or anything, and you are overthinking, you are anxious or depressed or anything related to mental or emotional health, the physical body loses its capacity to recover and restore fast. We'll understand how. Imagine the body detects danger through physical injury, infection, or emotional stress. The nervous system switches to fight, flight, or freeze. Freeze was under parasympathetic, the not so helpful part, and fight, flight is sympathetic. At this point, lymphatic system behaves like security force on high alert. So when security force is on high alert, that is too much energy in the body. I would like to either defend or fight or flight. So too much energy in my limbs. So lot of blood flow is happening in my arms and legs, and less blood flow is happening maybe in the infection area, maybe around the stomach, maybe around the neck. Which is why less blood flow in the other areas, therefore less chances of blood filtration in those areas, therefore less chances of lymph nodes to function nicely. So lymph flow slows or reroutes. Reroutes as in the blood will flow more in limbs, so the lymph flow will also happen in the limbs. Limbs as in arms and legs. Because blood is being redirected to muscles for immediate survival. Immune cells mobilize, white blood cells rush to the site of injury or infection, like emergency responders. And when the white blood cells rush to the site of injury or infection, there is swelling, redness, heat. Heat is generated in the body. And when it stays, when the danger response is activated and it doesn't go down, when the body doesn't switch into ventral vagal or parasympathetic, the inflammation will take place. Because then we know that system is fighting a perceived threat, which is why when we are mentally stressed, This is how the mental stress can activate the sympathetic nervous system or the freeze response, which can further influence poor functioning of lymphatic system, which is why if we are not able to sleep for few days or weeks very properly, we will wake up with swollen fingers or like puffiness around the face because the lymph fluid is not flowing smoothly. It is accumulated, which is why we have puffiness around eyes, face, swelling in the maybe what if you're wearing any ring, it would feel tighter. It is because of this reason. So the response is protective and necessary in short term. But in long term, we can have gut issues, lot of inflammation, bloating, digestive issues around the gut because there are a lot of lymph nodes that are getting the signal that we are in danger. But it is a perceived threat. It can come from a stressful thought. On the contrary, if the lymphatic system is working nicely, it will happen when the nervous system senses safety, when it's calm, it's in a joyful ventral vagal social engagement state. It's in the rest and digest part of parasympathetic. The lymphatic system operates smoothly like a peaceful city's maintenance system. Fluid flows freely through the vessels. Lymph nodes filter quietly all the germs and dead cells like checkpoints, which is happening here in ashram inside all your bodies when we are doing Swadhyaya, we are processing a lot of emotions, which is um, putting us when we are doing a lot of meditation, yoga, nidra, it is putting us in the rest and digest parasympathetic state, which is later giving the chance to these lymph nodes to work in harmony. Immune cells patrol calmly. So, patrol is the word because we are comparing the lymphatic system into a drainage maintenance system. Identifying potential issues before they escalate. Tissues stay well hydrated, nourished. If you have watched in a YouTube video or heard of body tapping, so it's suggested that after waking up in the morning, take 5-7 minutes and tap your body to activate all the lymphatic vessels. So during the sleep, or if there you have had any dreams or you have had any irregular heart rate or any discomfort during the sleep, the body would have shifted to sympathetic for a moment. The lymphatic system would have gotten influence. So this is just another way for nervous system to calm down and to activate the lymphatic flow once again because it was stagnant while we were sleeping. So to summarize, nervous system mode, if it's in parasympathetic ventral vagal state, rest and digest, the lymphatic system is balanced. So we can understand that city is working peacefully, it's very clean. If the nervous system is in fight or flight, there is immune activation and inflammation because the blood flow is not going to the desired area, which could be neck or stomach. It is going to arms and legs. So the lymphatic system is only working in the arms and legs area, which is why it's not able to filter the infection if there is in any different area. And otherwise, if the lymph flow is slower in other areas, there could be accumulation of the fluid which can cause swelling or inflammation. Or if we are chronically stressed, that is sympathetic is activated and it's not able to deactivate. It's long-term stress. Lymph stagnation, poor detox. The body is not cleansed. There's a lot of accumulation of mucus. Um, yes, basically mucus, more kapha in the body, you can say. And during recovery, when parasympathetic is activated again, lymph flows reopens, healing resumes. So, how to activate lymphatic system with yogic activities, diaphragmatic breathing, we do it in pranayama class. Twist and inversions, do it in asana class. Relaxation postures like Makarasana, Vajrasana, Balasana, Child's Pose, and Shavasana, or my very favorite, Yoga Nidra. The lymphatic system mirrors our sense of safety. So when the body feels safe, it can cleanse itself. When the body is threatened, the healing would pause. So that was lymphatic system from my lecture. Now I am just brushing up through the notes because notes have everything what I just taught. So I may not have enough time to read everything in the manual. So going through it, page number 105, anatomy of lymphatic system, revising it again. Lymph is the fluid inside the capillaries. This anything inside this green pipe is lymph. Then comes lymphatic vessels. These green pipes are named as lymphatic vessels or these green pipes. Lymph nodes, the ball-like structures accumulated throughout the body, majorly in four areas: neck, armpit, abdomen, and groin area. Spleen and thymus, another part of the body that generates white blood cells. Uh, Spleen, yes, organ found into the left side of the body around your rib cage, filters the blood, get rid of old and damaged red blood cells. Sorry, that was bone marrow that generates white blood cells. Spleen filters the red blood cells. It also helps produce white blood cells. So I was right, I was confused. Sorry. Thymus again helps make special white blood cells called T cells, which help you fight in body's immune system. Tonsils are located at the back of the throat. They help trap germs and that enter through your mouth and nose to stop making you sick, which is why when you're recovering, you have a throat ache when you're recovering from viral infection or bacterial infection. Now, lymphatic system, it's the function that is explained. I am skipping it. How it all works together. Page number 107. Lymphatic system has several important functions that help maintain overall health. So lymphatic system helps in fluid balance. It helps in avoiding edema, accumulation of fluid or swelling in any certain area. It supports the immune system by filtering the bacteria or pathogens. It helps in fat absorption. We can read this. Lymphatic system helps absorb and transport fat and fat soluble vitamins from digestive system because there are a lot of lymph nodes located around the stomach here in this part. Specialized lymphatic vessels called lacteals are located in small intestine. So these vessels here around the intestine, they absorb dietary fats from food and transport them in the form of a milky fluid called chyle to the bloodstream. So it's just a function. There is nothing much that I can add to it. Waste removal detoxification, we have understood. Transportation of white blood cells. The lymphatic system transports. It means takes white blood cells from one place throughout the body, allowing immune system to respond to infections efficiently. These white blood cells roam around or patrol the body and attack foreign invaders, that are foreign bacteria, when detected, keeping the immune system alert. Support for tissue healing. Obviously, when it's fighting the infection, the tissues are healed, the organs are healed. Lymphatic system and inflammation. So if lymphatic system doesn't work well because maybe body is in threat response, there is too much blood flow because blood flow is happening by the heart, and especially when we are in sympathetic, more blood flow is happening, but there is no blood cleansing by the lymphatic capillaries. So fluid accumulates, there is swelling, and transportation of immune system doesn't happen properly because the blood flow is irregular. It's more in the arms and legs. And collection of excessive fluid does not like that accumulates due to inflammatory response, helping to prevent severe swelling edema. So excessive fluid is either collected or it's cleansed. So when it's collected, there is a condition called edema. Cleaning debris and toxins, regulating inflammatory signals, it's all the same. What I just explained, it's just reading now. So I would request all of you to read the lymphatic system because it's like reading of what 15-20 minutes, and I like to teach more than just read from the manual. So go through the notes and whatever Didi and Lisa decides, if I am added to the group or if you all like if they collect all the doubts from you and they send it to me and I respond with another lecture, we can work it out. Again, I would say all your doubts are welcomed. I am eager to know few of you who would like to connect with me later. And yes, that's all for today. The anatomy lectures are over. I hope I was able to help you. If not, as I mentioned in the first lecture, that it's my first time recording it, speaking in front of screen. So thank you for holding this space for me and watching this white curtain, I mean this screen and listening to me. Thank you, class. Thank you, all of you. Today's lecture was a short one because the topic was short. Um, Namah Shivaya, all of you.